So let's we'll do this. We got to talk about the NHL squad in Minnesota playing some decent hockey. I think was it literally last episode we were like, man, they look like shit, or it was the week before. I can't remember. Points in what 14 straight.
14 straight, and I think the crazier stat that got tossed out there by Joe Smith last night. Well, last night for us, 2 nights ago for those listening. 17 goals in 3 games without Kirill Kaprizov.
Is Kirill the problem? Is he the problem?
I think Dean Evason's the problem, that he didn't realize it soon enough and limit Kaprizov's ice time. So
yeah, no, he's got to start getting benched for sure when he comes back. Yeah, they're just humming along here, and I mean, we'll talk about last night's game against St. Louis in a second. Jesus Christ. But I mean, like, contributions from up and down the lineup. I mean, one stinker from Gus. Other than that, solid goaltending.
Dude, how about Wes Walls coming out and calling him the backup?
I don't even know. I gotta, like, that has to be a moment where you're just like trying to fill airtime. Like, you just like, I gotta say something right now. And that's just like what comes out of your mouth. You're like, oh, fuck. Like, I was like, wait, what? Okay, buds. Yeah.
I'd respect it if he was on the broadcast and he's like, Mulligan, take back what I said.
You know what? I don't know why I said that. I just opened my mouth and that's what came out. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but I mean, whatever. But I mean, again, like every night it's just someone stepping up, and obviously when Kaprizov's in the lineup, that hasn't been happening, and he's been kind of carrying the load himself. And obviously at some point here, they'll come back down to earth and not score 1 million goals every game, and there's going to be a loss in there, and maybe a
back-to-back
couple losing
multi-point games.
I don't think that. I think that's actually, this is just the beginning for Revo. Was that the worst Gordie Howe hat trick in the history of hockey?
I mean, just because the fight wasn't a real fight.
Usually that's like the pinnacle of the Gordie Howe hat trick. It's like, that's what everyone's like, oh, the fight. That was, the fact that he got credit for the fight was great. I'm still just sitting here like, how did he slip that bad? Like,
No, I mean, what I heard is that from everything you were watching there, he didn't want to fight. He's like, it's bullshit that I have to fight for this. Like, I'm not going to walk away and not fight, but I'm also not going to like really entertain this. So I'm going to keep moving around and let you keep reaching, and I'm going to put you in a tough spot so that we don't have to do shit. I don't think Reaves wanted to really do shit there. I don't think he wanted to beat the fuck out of Imama for something that shouldn't have started a fight to begin with.
I guess so. But either way, Gordie Howe hat trick. I really thought, like, last night he gets the goal, he gets the assist, and like, there's no one left on St. Louis that would even entertain the thought. Like, what if he ended up just like fucking being the one to speed bag Binnington? Like, he just jumped over the boards. Like, they pull Fleury away, so Revo hops over, and that's how he gets the Gordie Howe. That would have been incredible.
Dude, did you see the video posted by Alan Walsh today?
Yeah, it was amazing. It's incredible.
My God. Just getting the mic'd up version was incredible.
I like that he's like, we're not done. I'm like, yeah, bro, you didn't even start.
He's always trying to fight.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like my hair like this. Anyway,
that's the one I posted from it.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, but like the one thing I want to touch on with the streak, the additions are looking. I mean, Marcus Johansson looks great. He's got, what's he got now for points since he's been here? Of course, now. Oh, God damn you, computer. Oh, there we go. He's got 4 points in his 7 games. Sundqvist goes back to St. Louis. He scores last night. Klingberg gets his first, just walking the blue line. He has been an absolute adventure.
That's the perfect way to put it.
A fascinating hockey player. Like, the fact that he's called a defenseman is insane. But he gets his first for Minnesota. But I mean, the guys they bring in, they're contributing. Klingberg, again, it is an absolute adventure with him, which is exactly what you're going to get. So I know now a lot of people are being like, well, what the fuck's the difference with him and Addison? And I get it. But
I mean, he's bigger and he shoots harder. That's pretty much the difference. And he's
pretty
got
much the difference.
several years more experience. But
I don't even know if he necessarily shoots harder because Addison is a cannon. I think he's much better at create. Well, not much better because Addison's still good and is getting better with it. But like you saw on the goal, like Klingberg's ability to walk that line and create shooting lanes, and then like cross grain, like or against the grain, that shot it's unreal. Like he's one of the best in the league at that. It's just like that's it. That's what you're getting. Yeah. And I think the power play is starting to come along with him there. At the beginning, it looked like he had again, like it's kind of what you expect when you're brought into a team and then expected to be PP1 quarterback. Like, obviously it's going to take some adjusting to get used to, just new teammates, new systems, whatever. But again, offensively looks fine, looks good. And that goal was sweet. And again, that's what he does, right? Like that's why you have Klingberg on the team. It's not for any other reason. Like behind the red line, probably. But the whole point of that was
if we compare him to Addison, he's just
taller,
more physically.
He's more Swedish too. He's more
way more Swedish. Well,
significantly more Swedish.
With Brodin too. Apparently, I just learned.
Yeah, probably.
So I mean, I don't know. Is that racist? I don't know. But I do think that he's still even more of a defensive liability than Addison. So it's like you're kind of getting both extremes. And like you said, it's an adventure. It's like that choose your own adventure book, except you just don't get to choose. Like it's just like the pages flip themselves.
Yeah, the pages flip themselves. Yeah. But
it works.
Yeah. And I get, so, before the deadline, they weren't scoring any goals aside from Kaprizov. They were they'd have a game where they look fine. Then they had a game where they would just look awful. Now they just look good and they're getting contributions from everywhere. I think Boldy's looked good with Johansson too. I think that's been a good combination there. Eriksson continues to do his thing. And now they're doing it with beyond just Kaprizov, but guys like Foligno out, Brodin out. Like, so got to give credit to Billy G for, first of all, the deadline addition that he did make, the fact that he improved the roster while doing some offseason business and getting assets. Like, that's a pretty fucking good deadline for a team that's so cap strapped and no one thought they were able to do anything. So, I mean, it's just right now it's all good in Minnesota for sure.
Yeah, until everyone's freaking out when Fleury starts game one.
Yeah, of course.
That's how it'll go.
So,
but God bless him though for last night. God bless him.
Yeah, God damn it. So let's just talk about the game. All right, we can quickly go through this game kind of quickly. Ryan Hartman might be my new favorite player in the NHL. Like, he's such a rat. I love him so much. Like,
I'm so glad you posted the video, though. I was going to do it if you didn't. That was so perfect. Just the quote, quote from Middleton. It was so good.
Hashtag Heartsy's kind of a piece of shit out there. Yeah, he is. And like anyone who thinks he didn't somewhat intentionally like go through Binnington on that. So like that was, it wasn't that he went out of his way to make contact with Binnington. He's like, oh, look, there's a guy in my way. Whoops. Like an accidental on purpose. He knew exactly what he was doing, especially because he goes for the celebration of the goal and he turns around knowing that Binnington's going to come over, just eats the blocker. And of course they have him at the fucking intermission. He's like, yeah, he hit me with the pointy part of the blocker thing. So I don't know. So it's a suspension all day.
He went down like a sack of potatoes though, and just slinks out of the whole like mosh pit there. Like everyone is there so in a cluster fighting and he's just like slipped right out.
He's like, see ya. I can't afford to take a penalty. And then again, like Shen tries to fight him later. He just sits there like, oh, and then as soon as everyone comes over, as Shen realizes that he's not going to fight him and he backs away again, he just slides away and just skates back to the bench. He's like, oh, geez, I don't know why everyone's so mad. He's such a rat. Of course he scores twice, like 3-point night for Hartman. He's amazing. I love him. He's so funny. Everything he does, I just start dying laughing. And of course, at the end of the period, the camera goes to him and he's just like chirping the crowd. I'm like, this fucking guy has no off button. Like no off button. You can't stop. It's just so good. I love that guy.
Welcome back though, because like we were missing that for the first chunk of the year, right?
Yeah, and I think part of that too was like he was trying to find his game a little bit, right? Like the points weren't there, he wasn't scoring the goals. Like, you know, he didn't look the same with Kaprizov and Zuccarello, obviously not as good as he looked last year. I'm sure part of that was like he's trying to find his game, and then when he did try to do, you know, Hartman rat things, like he was getting called for literally everything. Plus, he was taking like tripping, hooking, like he was getting everything was getting called, and like I mean, he was committing penalties. So it's kind of hard to offset that when you're not producing either. So now he's starting to play really well again. He's scoring goals. He had 2 last night and the assist. Like, so I think now he's just back in his sweet spot. He is just an absolute terror. So good for him.
Dude, not to get you like too excited, but he's the kind of guy that gives me real vibes of like if the Wild need to make changes this summer and you know that it's going to be a bit of a cap situation going on for Boston, is he not the perfect Boston player?
Yeah, no.
And is he not the perfect solution for them to get a cheap guy to throw into the middle six?
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about that before, like, but I think if you're Minnesota, he only makes 1.7. Like,
right.
That's not the guy that you're looking
at.
But
what's the return? What's the return?
I don't know how much it'd really be, dude.
Okay. Then I guess he's not going to Boston. He's going to Tampa, and we're going to get 3 firsts.
There you go. That'll work. They have no first. They have used everything. They have nothing left.
All right, I'll take.
I think they have. I gotta pull up there how many they actually have. They have like nothing. But no, you're right. Like
somehow they still have more than Florida, and Florida got nothing from theirs.
Florida literally has 0.
Everyone wants to say like, "Oh, Carlson to Florida makes all the sense in the world." Yeah, with what fucking capital?
Nothing. Yeah, they have nothing. Yeah, I don't know how they would do it. But that game though, dude, like starts off, hey, looking good here. Boom. 3 goals real quick. Like Verana went psycho. He's lighting up for St. Louis. He got traded for a fucking nothing prospect in a 7th.
You know, people are screaming at Billy Guerin online too. Like
I had
you should have gotten Verana.
I had like 4 people respond to my video like, don't know why Billy G didn't take a swing. I'm like, oh my fucking God, man. Like
Christ.
The Blues are not making the playoffs. They sold, and like Verana's whatever. Clearly, it's okay. Like your favorite team doesn't need to go out and acquire every single good hockey player on the planet. Like it's gonna be all right. Like it's fine. But also like good for Verana. He's playing real well for St. Louis. So I think he got like 5 goals in 4 games or something like that. But he's looking like himself again, so good for him. And then once again, all the tweets are coming out at the intermission, like, oh, St. Louis, for whatever reason, they always have Minnesota's number. Minnesota immediately scores 3 in less than 2 minutes. And Mason Shaw starts chirping Binnington. Binnington's giving it back, gives it to the entire bench. Immediately, fucking Wild score again, and fucking all hell breaks loose. Right before that, though, was it Buchnaver scored on the power play, I think?
He put up a hat
to tie it up 4-4. I think it was him.
I don't remember the order of their goal scorers.
I think it was Buchnaver. But right before he scored to make it 4-4, Mason Shaw almost scored shorthanded. There was like a really good save.
That one that went right
after first shift, after Binnington skating by the bench, chirping everybody after fucking giving up 3 goals in less than 2 minutes. And it was Mason Shaw who was like leading the charge with chirping, and he almost scores a snipe shorthanded. I think they would have fought. Like I really do. Like I think Mason Shaw would have immediately sellied in his face, and then Binnington would have lost his fucking marbles again. And I think I think
Binnington would have had a seizure. Like he would have just like short circuited and just gone down to the ice.
I think he might be under the impression that like giving up goals is good, and that'll fire the crowd up. Like if I just let all these goals in, I'm gonna fight everyone, and everyone's gonna love it. Because like it makes no sense, dude.
Like, I mean, whenever we're in road rinks and I let goals in, the crowd goes fucking nuts. Why doesn't it happen at home?
These other arenas have like horns that go off when I let goals in. It's really weird. I don't know why. Whatever.
I think you're onto something. Although here's my theory, man. I threw it out on Twitter last night. If you give Jordan Binnington his own Darby Hendrickson, like we don't have the majority of these outbursts happen.
Yeah. Who was it? Who was that? Oh God, what's his name? The poor bastard on St. Louis who had to go serve Bennington's 5. Nikita Alexandrov. Imagine being that guy. Like Binnington gives up 5 goals on 24 shots, tries to fight everybody, the entire planet he tries to fight, pumps the crowd up after giving up fucking 5. What a lunatic. I mean, that's so fucking crazy. Out of context, if you like turn that game on when they would go to commercial and it's a slow-mo thing to like no bucket, no gloves, like pumping up the crowd, you're like, oh shit, they must be kicking. He must have fucking beat Fleury up and they must be up like 6-0 right now. And then it comes back. It's like, wait, what the fuck's going on? They're down 5-4. He's giving up fucking 5 goals on 24 shots. He's firing the crowd up. Okay, sure, I guess. And that poor fucking bat. Imagine being Nikita Alexandrov and Berube's like, yo, go serve Benner's 5. You're like, God damn it. Like, what did I do? Like, that sucks. He's just sitting there like, I don't know, man. The camera went to him in the fucking penalty box. And he was like, he's like shaking his head. I'm like, that fucking poor bastard.
Dude, my problem here though is everyone's already got the next game circled, April 8th. Dude, that's gonna be the Natty. So I will not even remotely be tuning in.
Yeah, no, I'll probably
unless Michigan loses or Minnesota loses in the first round to fucking Sacred Heart or some shit.
Yeah, no, that's tough timing, eh?
Oh wow.
Oh, but again, my sneaky favorite part though is the fact that he gets gets tossed immediately. Thomas Greiss has to go in. Who, by the way, if you watch him skate to the crease, that poor bastard had no interest in going in net. He was like, God damn it. He like slowly meandered like straight leg into the net and immediately gives up a breakaway goal to Alex Goligoski, his second goal of the season.
That was a tough look.
Played in like 8 games. Like he's like just not playing. Sick goal. And then Goligoski does the Binnington, pumping up the crowd, 6-4, smell you later. Like,
yeah,
what a game. Just complete anarchy. And I tweeted out, Foligno and Middleton must have been having an absolute ball watching while upset that they weren't there to partake of the chaos. They must have been having so much fun. And whatever was coming out of Middleton's mouth about Hartsey being a piece of shit must have been hilarious. And I just imagine that Brandon Duhaime was probably foaming at the mouth and just ripping up pieces of paper. Like, I think that's just what he was doing. Yeah, also upset that he wasn't out there. But I think, what was it, 7th time in team history they scored 8 goals. And I mean, again, Sundqvist scores, Reaves scores, Shaw scores, like contributions from everywhere. And just nice to beat St. Louis in St. Louis, and nice to see them score a bunch of fucking goals when it's not Kirill Kaprizov. So, no, they're humming right now, and that was one of the most entertaining. I still cannot believe they didn't fucking let them fight. Dude. Like, imagine being the linesman and saying, no, let's not let this happen.
If something happens there, though, like, that ref is so fucked.
No, but like he shouldn't be.
If he has Binnington and then decides, okay, I'll let you go and fight, and then him or Fleury gets like brain damage, like that ref is so fucked.
Well, that's but yeah, sure, of course, I guess. But like,
hey, I'm with you. Like I wanted it, but yeah, I understand why he can't.
Right. And I mean, hey, a couple of weeks ago, fucking McDermott and Lucic were both tied up by the refs. And eventually they're like, dude, just fucking let these guys go. And Lucic like knocked out McDermott. My God. He is still a fucking animal, by the way. Jesus Christ. He is terrifying. Like, just beating the wheels off of everybody.